we played really well. I mean, they have a fantastic defensive line. They are deep. Their 75's a really good guy, and then they had 99 that would come right in. The ends are really good, and then obviously Sheldon Day's a man. So, but yeah, we feel like we played really well, and but no, there with offensive linemen, I don't think there's a whole lot of talk, and I think it's just more of us. Us and defensive linemen kind of do it with our words more than anything. I know Shaq likes to get a little mouthy sometimes, but that's just you just gotta be around Shaq to know he never stops talking. So, but no, there wasn't too much talk and whatnot going on.
I wanted to ask you about Sheldon Day. It looked like you guys had your hands full at times with that guy.
No, he's good. He's really good. He's just he plays with such good pad level and such a good motor, and he's really strong. He's just a great player. I mean, he's one of those guys that just you don't nowadays you don't see those guys that are going to the whistle every play, and that's as a coach, you preach that obviously, but I mean he's just bam, 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 full speed, and but no, he's a really good player, and we did, but I really, especially after watching the film this morning, feel like we handled him really well, and a lot better than a lot of people thought that we would.
Jay, is there some disappointment with the line in the fourth quarter in the sense that one or two first downs, and maybe it doesn't come down to that stop 2-point conversion?
Well, a lot of people, see it's we couldn't run the ball. Well, I mean, it's really hard whenever everyone in the stadium, knows that you're going to run the ball and they stack the box. I mean, of course it's not an excuse, but it's disappointing because as an offensive line, you always want to be able to say, all right, it's on us, let's go, let's run the ball. But so it is a little disappointing, but I mean, it's just something that whenever you go back and you look at how their defense was, they know that we're not going to throw the ball down the field, but I still feel, like I said, I feel really confident that we played really well. I mean, we won the football game, and we and we as an offensive line, even got praises this morning from Coach Sweeney himself. So.
No bad snaps.
Nope. I had I think 60 something snaps. None of them were bad, which is I played in conditions similar to that. And I had a state championship game in high school where, I mean, it did every kind of precipitation. I mean, sidewards rain, everything, and then I had another game my senior year that was pretty muddy. But I've not had any games like that here. But I mean, we did wet ball drill all week because we knew that it was gonna come torrential downpour. So we really practiced it.
So what's the hardest part of all that? I mean, you got on the helmet and pads. Do you really notice the rain, the heavy ball? What's the hardest part of it?
I mean, whenever you're out on the field, you don't really notice it as much. You're just so focused and locked into what you have to do. You more notice it whenever you're on the sideline, and then it just starts coming down. And you're like, man, I'm kind of cold and wet, But it's I don't know, the ball does get, it does obviously get a little heavier. It starts retaining some water, but I don't know. You just all kind of try and block that out. And then, like I said, you work on that during practice in the middle of the week, so you have a better feel for it.
The field conditions, the actual footing you guys had, it looked like the turf looked pretty good. How was it for you guys actually out there?
Our grounds crew did a fantastic job. It was, I mean, the field held up great, and it was, I mean, I can't give them enough praise because it was fantastic. And you hear of all this, oh man, it's going to rain, all this, and I'm like, man, the field's going to be flooded, it's going to be muddy. But no, our grounds crew did a fantastic job of keeping our field in check all week.
Such an emotional win and everything. Does it help that Georgia Tech's the next team, a team you're familiar with, you've got to get up and get ready for that game?
Well, I mean, Georgia Tech's, they're a really good team. I mean, they do a lot of things obviously on offense that are difficult, but they've got a great defense. I mean, I know their two-tier defensive linemen are pretty good. They got Adam Gotsis, who's been there for seems like about 10 years now. I mean, he's a really good player, and but I mean it does help a little bit, and it's like Coach Elliott was saying this morning. I mean, this is a rivalry game. It's a team that's not in our division that we play every year. And I mean so this will be an emotional game as well, and it's not really that hard. We do a really good job here, especially with our leadership, staying very focused. and just taking just one game at a time and not really having that hangover that you hear of a lot. So.
Is it the same? Is it in the same respect that there was so much hype placed on this one game? I mean, you've got 2 months of the season to go.
Mm-hmm.
The season's not over. How do you move forward from such a big win on to the rest of the season?
I mean, you just keep going. Like Coach Sweeney says all the time. I mean, it's just one game at a time, and it really is. I mean, he really instills that in us, and that we can't. We know that was a huge game, but if we go and we lose to Walford or Appalachian State, how big of a game is that going to be? So I mean, it's every game is a huge game, and this is an ACC game, and we've got league play pretty much all the way out. I think almost every game except obviously South Carolina. So I mean, and that's one of our goals is to win the division, win the ACC, and so we still have goals that we want to meet, and we know what we have to do to meet those goals.
Does it get difficult to block out, I don't know, some of the excitement around campus, family excitement, watching ESPN and seeing you guys are a couple spots out of that top 4?
It does get a little difficult at times, but you always have to just kind of refocus in after seeing all that, and just know that it's just talk. None of those guys are really in here with us. Even my family. They're not here in the Clemson family. So, I mean, it gets difficult at times, but it's not too hard just because we all, like I said, our leadership just kind of we do a very good job at keeping everyone focused, especially the young guys. We got a decently young team this year, and some of those guys kind of like to look at what everyone has to say about them, but our leadership really steps up and just tells them, hey guys, we just got to go out and keep doing what we've been doing.
Personal question for you. I walk into the tunnel after the game, and there's Coach Green. Water's pouring off in front of his hat. He's on his cane.
Yeah.
Breaks out a big smile. He says, "Wasn't that a lot of fun?" What was it like to walk off the field and see that?
That's awesome. I had to wait for him to walk down the steps. Him being all crippled, but no, it was awesome. I gave him a big hug, and man, it was so awesome because, I mean, especially whenever he was going through college ball and everything, and in the early '70s, that was Notre Dame, and and he just got to watch his grandson, beat the Notre Dame, so it was really special.
Talk about the rest of the season. As like you said, you got ACC play the rest of the way outside of South Carolina, but you got 8 straight weeks of football ahead of you. How do you keep your body and your mind in shape during that whole period, doing 8 straight weeks?
Well, I mean, Coach Sweeney has a lot to do with that, with our practice schedule. Our strength and conditioning staff, we lift 2 times a week, but they do a really, really good job of kind of prehab for the games and everything like that, and keeping us loose. And our staff here does a fantastic job at keeping everyone's body in check. We have cold tubs after pretty much every practice. We've got, we have massages that come in on Thursday. I mean, so we do a really good job at keeping our bodies feeling well. And the mindset is just, it's every day's a work day. It's just something J.J. Watt says. Every day you got to pay your rent. And you're so. I mean, it's tough. But I feel like we do a really good job here.
We hear all the time about how Deshaun keeps such an even keel. Did you notice any differences in him because of such a big game before, during, or after?
Not at all, man. That guy, he's just got a mentality of no one can stop us, and he's just he's unbelievable. I mean, to be honest, he's so cool and calm, and I mean, I don't know if on the inside he's getting all revved up, but to everyone, to all of us, he just seems so cool and collected, and that's something that you like to see, especially as an offensive lineman, to know that him to be so calm knows that he has trust in his offensive line to block for him. So he's just he prepares really well, and he knows what he has to do.
Jay, a lot of people wanted to make something before this season that the defense was losing all these people, obviously a lot of good people. Did you have an inkling, having going against them every day, that wasn't going to be that much of a drop off?
Yeah.
Play like the way they've been playing.
Yeah, that wasn't a surprise at all. I mean, battling up against these guys, all through camp and everything. It's just one of those where you sit back and you kind of laugh, and because you got Scott in there, you got Christian, who's coming in as a freshman. He's really, really, really talented guy, and and you got Shaq and Kevin Dodd on the outside. You don't really worry that much, and I mean we got a really talented group of guys, and like you said, going against them every day just reassured us of that.
You said Shaq likes to get a little mouthy. He gets mouthy with you guys too?
Yes, he does. I love Shaq Lawson to death. Let me say that first. But man, he is a guy who loves to talk, and he is a guy who loves to talk very loud. It's all in fun, and he's out there having a good time. I mean, man, I don't blame him because the guy's good, and he knows that he's good. So, he's not cocky, but he's confident in his abilities, and he does like to get a little loud sometimes, though.
This is an offense that a lot of people thought would be explosive, score a lot of points. You guys have been able to run the ball, be conservative, and just take what's there. Are you okay with that? Do you think this offense needs to be more explosive?
I'm perfectly okay with us running the ball. I mean, it's like I was saying on the sidelines. We love games where it's going to rain and we know that we're going to run the ball more. Because for an offensive lineman, that's on our shoulders. We want to be able to carry the team, and so I enjoy that. But at the same time, I know that we have that big playability. I mean, our guys on the outside are so talented, some of the best in country. And, obviously the guy taking the snaps is one of the best in country as well. So I know that we have that big playability. So it doesn't, whatever we really need to do, whatever Coach Elliott and Coach Scott want us to do is, what we're going to do.